Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Just a second. Let me start recording it. Okay. Is my screen visible in full screen mode?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. We have done with the first unit. Now we are moving to the unit number 2, which is about prefabricated structures. We'll learn about the principle of prefabricated structures, the methods, method of fabrication, method of installation. All those preliminary things we'll be seeing in this unit. Do you know what is prefabrication? Anyone? Have you heard about this term prefabrication? Fabricating is nothing but casting it. That is, you're making something. Pre is you're doing it somewhere. It is done already. You go purchase your ready-made clothes. It is done. You go buy it. You just wear it. The same thing. It is called ready-made. More or less, you can call it as ready-made structures that you're going to just assemble in your site. Prefabrication is a practice of assembling components of a structure in a factory or other manufacturing sites. Generally, you do have off-site and on-site. Off-site is nothing but you do in your factory. This is called prefabricated structures. On-site is your general conventional method of doing your concrete in the working in the site is called on-site method, and off-site is nothing but. Is my voice audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. If I'm running out of poor connectivity, please let me know. Or other manufacturing sites and transporting complete assemblies or sub-assemblies to the construction site where the structure is being installed. Your elements are constructed, your walls, precast walls, columns, beams, slabs, everything is cast in your factory or your manufacturing site. It is done there. You're just transporting it to your site or your location where you want to build your own house or your apartments or your commercial building. You're transporting it there, you are assembling it, that is you're fixing it using nuts and bolts. Prefabricated units may include doors, stairs, windows, wall panels, floor panels, roof trusses, room sized components, and even entire buildings can be transported. The main aim of prefabricated is economy. Whatever project you take, you will mainly consider about the financial the financial aids you will be considering. If you have sufficient amount, you will go for precast. In case of small construction units or individual house or D plus 2 or 3 apartments, if you go for precast, then it is going to be more. Economical issues are going to be there. It is you require more of initial cost. Whereas if you go for skyscrapers or G plus 5, so much of structures or commercial buildings, you can go for prefabricated structures. Manufacturing of components under controlled conditions, speed, no curing is required, which means you're going for accelerated curing or steam curing method, not the conventional curing method. You already learned in the first chapter that curing takes time. It takes some methodology, it requires some process. It's about 7 to 28 days it requires curing. So we are going for speedy method, that is accelerated curing or either steam curing. Use of locally available materials. All those things are the main aims of prefabricated structures. We'll see about the comparison of site cast and precast, that is but on site. This is on site and this is off site. No transportation is required in case of conventional, whereas transportation and elevation capacity limits based upon the size is required. Which means you're transporting the structural members, you cannot ask the laborers to come and lift it. You require some installation equipments, you require lifts, cranes to lift that and to place it in a particular thing, and you have to fix it. So you require heavy equipments. Size limitation is depending upon the elevation capacity only. Lower quality because directly affected by weather. Higher, I mean, in case of precast, you go for higher quality concrete can be produced, less affected by weather because you're already curing it by accelerated curing method. Proper large free space required, no space requirement on the site because you do everything in the fabrication site or your industry, you are just going to transport it. That doesn't require any space. Very limited space for erecting your equipment will be required. Unlimited opportunities of architectural appearance, option of standardized components. These are the precast slabs, solid flat slab you can see, hollow core slab, double T. These are the different types of precast slabs. These are the beams: rectangular beam, L-shaped beam, inverted T-shaped beam, and this is also an American standard beam. This is precast columns. You can see the precast columns being erected at the work site. And here you can see it. Here the precast walls. This is your wall. You have the provision for your windows and balconies, and this is your wall panel, complete closed wall panel. This is with the indentation panel. This is with the complete closed wall panel. Precast staircases are available. The entire unit, this long stretch will be available. You can just bring that, you can lift it, you can bring it to the site, you can just fix it to your structure. Steel plates supported on 2 steel beams. This entire thing can be brought up and fix it there. And this is one real-time example. The Chennai Silks building at Krompet was the first constructed precast building in Chennai. They did with the Chennai Silks building in Velachery. Initially, it had some issues while they were going for the, 2 levels of basement. They found some seepage of water inside the building. Then they went for grouting process. It took long process to finish it, as well as it had some minor issues, and then it was later rectified. The first successful construction is the Krompet Chennai Silks building. But nowadays in Chennai, like, people started constructing all the malls and this types of textile shops using precast. Even all Saravana stores and all Chennai Silks have started constructing using prefabricated structures. This is one type I'm telling example about Chennai. You can go browse in that particular region or your state or your area where you are residing. You can go search regarding the prefabricated structures that are constructed. Advantages of prefabrication: high quality product can be obtained, saves labor as well as time, increases the overall efficiency of the building. It is easy and quick to construct. When you go for huge construction, like when you're going to build some G+10, entirely you just consider your one floor, you are going to erect the column, wait for 7 days, demold the form, you remove the form work, wait for 7 days, you cure it, and again you go for your slab construction, again go for your column construction. This continuous, simultaneous and continuous process takes time. Definitely, when you need some minimum 6 to 7 months to complete your entire structure. For the minimum, you need 6 to 7 months to complete your entire structure. Whereas in case of prefabricated, everything is done over the site. Only if you tell your structure dimensions, if you tell them, they'll bring out with the elemental dimensions. Whatever dimensions of the structure you are telling, like wall of 3 to 7 meter, you are telling the dimension, that thing will be fabricated there and it will be brought to the site. You can fix it everything within few weeks, days to weeks. Production in controlled environment, which means your entire factory is going to be closed, whereas it will not be affected by weather, by hot sun or cold climate. Whereas consider that with your site, it will be open. You have to construct your building. It will rain. You might have concreted that day. It will be raining, so you have to leave 1 day or 2 plus for extra curing. Curing. All those things have to be considered. If it is very hot, then the workability of the concrete will definitely change, and people over there will add some extra water and they'll do something. So all those things can be avoided if you go for prefabrication. Space constraints in the site, if any, can be overcome, and it is very safety compared to conventional. The disadvantages are careful handling of the components. Those are heavyweight structures. They are to be handled properly. If you do not handle, like if you ask them people or the masons to just lift it, they cannot lift it. That is not just a cube or beam or a structural column. They are going to lift. They are going to lift the entire component. That is the entire wall. You cannot just go lift. You cannot ask 20 people to just lift a wall. That is going to be huge in weight. So you require equipments to lift it. Attention on strength and corrosion resistance on prefabricated sections to prevent failure. Leaks can be formed at the joints. This is the only major disadvantages. This also can be rectified by proper cement grouting or the slurry grouting that you can go for. The cost of transportation is huge. Consider if your building is not in the particular city where the site is, where the manufacturing unit is. In that case, you have to, you just consider if your site is at Chennai, you are going to transfer it to Trichy. So it is more or less some 200 plus kilometers where you have to transport all your structural elements, your beams, your walls, your columns, your staircase, everything you are going to transfer it. So which requires huge amount of transportation cost. Larger prefabricated components require heavy equipments to lift and handle on site. Local laborers lose jobs because only skilled laborers will be requiring it. Also, less laborers will be required. We'll see about the methods. In the precast concrete, globally, this has been taking ahead over the conventional method where the concreting is done at the manufacturing site or the factory units, where these types of molds, any shape can be constructed provided they are done with the reusable molds. They are steel molds where it can be used n number of times. Whereas when we go for form works, we go for either plywoods or sheets that are not that much durable. Repetitions cannot be done over a conventional thing. And all you just molds are fixed, you are concreting, and this concreting is done in a controlled environment in the factory atmosphere. It is like controlled, the temperature is kept constant, it is not exposed like this. In case it is open to atmosphere, it is not exposed to atmosphere, it is in a controlled environment. So the quality will be good and the workability is not going to affect. Once the structure is done, you are going to transport it through the work site. You are going to erect it finally. In case of cast in situ or the on-site construction, what you do is mostly India requires only a conventional method because people we prefer to go for individual houses or G+1, G+2 because it is a developing country. On financial basis of a family, will go only for a smaller unit of houses. We don't generally prefer for prefabricated units. So we are in a position to go for normal conventional form works, and then a process of conventional method of curing take times, consume times. And then the casting process. In the casting process, we have our wall panels ready, our columns are ready, and our beams are ready. We are just going to erect a column. We are going to just connect our column with our beam and then fix our wall panels over here. So it is done. In case of this precasting cannot be done here. We cannot cast in advance. We have to work only on the site. Initially we have to go for our column. Once our column is done, we have to go for our slab. Then we have to go for volume construction if it is going to be a framed structure. 1 minute. Let me move this here. Is it visible?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Okay. Are you all along with me?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Okay. Based upon the quality, precast concrete are highly qualified concrete than cast in situ because they are created or they are developed in a controlled environment. They are properly maintained. Regular quality checks are done at the site. On the manufacturing unit, where in case that is not done in the on-site cases. It is prepared in manufacturing units or factories. They follow some ideal conditions provided the water cement ratio and the temperatures, everything are in a controlled manner. It is highly durable, stability, and the results of the concrete, that is the concrete strength, are reliable as well. The water cement ratios are properly maintained in case of precast, whereas that is not in the case of cast in situ. If you go for ready mix concrete also, you will have your ready mix concrete plant in one site. You may be the builder. You may call the contractor and ask for the concrete. They'll bring the concrete some 45 minutes or 1 hours in travel. They'll bring it. Meanwhile, they need the concrete to be still workable, so they use more of retarders and the chemical admixtures to make the concrete workable, which may in long term affect your concrete strength, durability. And when you go for cast in situ concrete, your quality will definitely be disturbed, or you will not be getting a proper quality, because your concrete will be done and you may concrete it, but the end product will not be that much good, because your climatic conditions are there, your labors are also a problem. Unskilled labor, he'll just come, he'll just pour it without even proper compacting. Those are the issues faced in situ concreting. And here, in this case, labors, when we compare precast as well as cast in situ, for the precast, only very less labors are required. Very less labors, also skilled labors are required for placing it. You'll be having the equipment, crane lifting operators will be there. They'll erect this wall over here. You need to make sure, you need labors to make sure whether it is getting properly binded with the pre-existing floor or the foundation. You have to make check, and also you have to fit it using, you need some fitting persons to fix it properly, so that it is you check it for the verticality and the horizontal position of the component, and you just fix it. Whereas in this case, more labors are required. You need labor for initial form working. You need labor for shuttering process. You need people for reinforcing. They need to prepare the reinforcing cage. For that, you need people. You need people for preparing concrete mixes. Again, they have to pour. For that, you need people. Then you need to compact. You need some people who are going to compact it using vibrating tools. Those peoples are required. And once it is all done, you are going to remove the formwork. Again, you need huge number of labors. Those things are avoided in case of precast. It is not the same process is going to happen, but only it is going to happen in a less number. Speed of construction requires less time. Yeah.
Ma'am, how can they provide a continuous load pathway, ma'am, in case of precast structures? Because they are joining it on site, no, ma'am. So we cannot have a continuous.
No, you cannot have a continuous thing. It is everything going to be a segments. You are going to place segments using nuts and bolts. You are going to fix it up, and in the final coat, you are going to provide a cement slurry and you are going to close it.
Then it will be weaker than what we do on site, no, ma'am. Like there we have continuity, so the load will like evenly go to the ground. But we cannot expect that in precast structures when there's no.
Yeah. More or less, your conventional method is best suitable for earthquake resistant buildings. When you go for prefabricated structures, wherever there are like the regions where seismic conditions are very low, where you have only very less of earthquake, you can go for precast construction. You cannot go for a high earthquake region, you cannot go construct this precast. That disadvantage it does carries. We'll be seeing all those things in our future slides.
Okay.
Yes, conventional thing is a continuous process, whereas precast is going to be a segmental process only. Yes.
Ma'am, what about the misfits if it happens in the precast structure?
What about the?
Like if the structure, like we have got the components, and if they are not getting fitted, like there is some space left or it is a bit longer. So how do they handle that situation?
So, if everything is going to be of a uniform dimension, your column at the bottom, I'll tell you, if the column is 100 by 150 mm, again, in the first floor, again the same size of column only will be erected over the other thing also. You will have uniformity in the size and structure. The main problem is the critical sections are the joints which you are going to connect this column with the previous one. These critical columns are only the major problems, and numerous researchers are going on like how to rectify this error. As you can see, precast is more advantageous. People are doing n number of researches to overcome these critical issues. Meanwhile, they'll find out a proper solution also for that. Only the weaker region in the structure is this connecting area. This is going to be very weaker. If in case of column to column also, or wall, or beam to column also, this is going to be the weaker section. Okay, next, the speed of construction. No waiting time to gain strength, requires minimal propping and speed up construction and saves cost in case of precast. Whereas if you go for cast in situ, more skilled laborers are required. It requires more time for finishing the entire structure. We are in a position to wait for 28 days to attain 99% of strength. If you're going for multi-story building, we people move on with 7 days. After achieving 65% of strength, we move on with the construction of the other higher components, provided we still cure this, the bottom layer also. The curing conditions. In precast thing, we go for accelerated curing, where we go for salt spray or high component sprays. We just cure it over it, and that will give us early gain strength. Early age strength will be better for 3 to 7 or 3 to 14 days. The early age will be very strength compared to the conventional concrete. It is done in a worksite environment. Once it is done, either steam curing can also be done. Steam curing goes by 2 ways, either warm water curing or by boiling water curing. Mostly people prefer to go for accelerated curing because it is time consuming. It is less time consuming. Once this is done, they'll just transport. They'll just place it outside of the factory. They'll check, the quality check will be done. They'll again transport it. They'll erect to the site. They'll transport to the site. They'll erect the structure. When it goes to cast in situ, the curing period, it takes time. Definitely, it takes time. Also, in our construction industry, our time is directly proportional to the cost. If your structure takes 6 months of time to, you just imagine a G+2 structure. G+2 is nothing but a ground plus 2 levels of structure. If you consider that, you require some 6 months. Whereas if you go for this prefabricated, you may require some 1 to 2 weeks only. So in that case, this your 5.5 months of amount you invest in that structure is going to be reduced. Meanwhile, you will get early profit. Early investment, early profit. That is going to be in our construction industry. And the precast thing, the weather conditions. No effect on casting. Operate regardless of weather. Does not shrink, distort or move, and does not deteriorate. This structure is not going to deteriorate because it is not kept in the open thing. Like everything is cast in the factory. They are going to just transfer it, and once this is for the quality check is done, they are going to erect it. You can see so much of cranes here. They are going to lift it and they are going to place it in the vehicles to transport it. In case of cast in situ, we cannot avoid these weather conditions like a rain or when it is very cold. When the season changes, the curing time will get delayed, which means it will be getting delayed. So we have to wait till that weather condition is okay. Then we have to proceed with the further building. So based upon weather condition, precast is good, whereas cast in situ is bad. In precast concrete, increased productivity and economy cost, everything is done, and it is quite cheaper because you use the same size of formwork for preparing all your walls. Everything is going to be steel. The initial investment is huge because in conventional concrete you go for either wooden or wooden plywoods or reapers you'll go, or you'll go for steel sheets. Here you'll go for thick steel sheets where it will be reusable multiple times. The initial investment for the steel reinforcement, not reinforcement, steel formwork is huge, but it is reusable, which means if you calculate the entire cost, the precasting will be going cost economical. It saves cost in shuttering and de-shuttering. Those works are rectified there. Less number of labors are required and less reinforcements are required. When you go for conventional concrete, you have to give huge number of ductile detailings, huge number of reinforcement detailings. That is avoided. You have to provide, but provided you are providing in less number. And cheaper form of construction for small structures compared to precast, it is economical only for small structures. Cast in situ is economical only for small structures. And based upon the standardization and repetition, we follow a standard uniform size where you can see all those wall panels are in the same size. This can be either split depending upon the shape, I mean sizes we require, or either you can just go for an integrated unit, complete block unit also you can go, which will be the same replica size. That also we can go. Number of repetitions can be done using this base formwork. It reduces the cost of the mold or the unit. It reduces the entire thing. And shuttering repetitions are less standardization and repetition. Here, if you go for precast, you require heavy duty equipments because you are not going to lift a cube or a beam. You are going to lift the entire wall panel. You will be requiring cranes based upon that. Based upon the size and weight of the structure, you'll be requiring the different types of cranes. There are a number of cranes. Depending upon that, we'll be choosing the whichever is suitable. We'll be going for it. And for the cast in situ, construction can be done without cranes. Joints, very critical and needs careful attention. When this is your column, this is your slab. This is one section. Here is a break. This is one section. This is another section. And this is another section. You are done with it. You are going to fix it properly such that there is no any gap. Once this is done, then you will go for erecting the next column, and you will make sure that it is fitted properly. Large number of joints exist in case of precast because you just think your foundation is done. Over that, you're going to place your column. So there is going to be a joint. And your column is done. Over that, you're going to place your slab. Slab, or first you'll go with your beam. There you'll be having some columns. I mean, some connections. From the column, slab, column, beam, you'll be having slab connection. Again, you're going to have the entire stretch of connections. Over this column, you're going to place another column. So there you'll be having connections. So compared to your conventional concrete, your precast structure will have a number of joints. And resistant to earthquake, precast structures are less resistant to earthquake and wind forces, more resistant to earthquake and wind forces. Based upon the contractor type, only skilled and technical labors are chosen for precast, whereas local labors are chosen for cast in situ or conventional method of concreting. Material wastage is completely negligible because it is reusable. Once your structure is done, you are in Trichy. If you want to construct the building near our Orion, you can transfer the equipments there. You can initially fix the equipment. You can, next to the Orion building, you can place your structures. You can place your wall, the window frames. You can place your columns. You can place your slabs. Everything can be done next to the Orion building. If you're feeling that place, or if that place is not suitable, or you are in a position to vacate that place, then you can dismantle this. Remember, you can dismantle, not destroy. In conventional case, you are in a position to completely destroy the structure. Whereas in case of precast, we are in a position, we can remove the paste that we have done here. We can remove it. We can remove the nuts and bolts. We can dismantle it, we can transfer it to another section. If you want this building to be again placed near the Department of Civil Engineering in NIT, we can just transfer it. Understand? This can be done in precast, whereas that is not done in cast in situ. And wastage is more when we go for cast in situ, it cannot be reused. Yes. Next is the story. Are you all along with me?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Yes,
Next
ma'am.
is the storage of materials. Thank you. Thank you, gentlemen. Storage for materials. No need or very less space is required. As and when required, it saves space. Only the thing is, we are going to store these materials off-site only. Off-site means your structure. You're going to build your structure here. You're going to place it nearby. Vehicle will be, transporting vehicles will be there. It will bring and it will place in the nearby area. They are going to just lift it and erect it in that position. Whereas space reservation is a main criteria in case of cast in situ. Quantity of materials. It requires less cement, less water, less steel, less labor. Everything is going to be less. The thickness of the wall, from the thickness, the entire thickness of the structure is going to be reduced in case of precast structures. more quantity of materials are required when you go for conventional thing. This is a major disadvantage. We have to calculate concrete with so much of wastage because we are going to transport the concrete. Imagine you are in the ground floor. You are going to transport this concrete to the third floor. This is third floor. This is the ground floor. You have the concrete here. You are going to transfer this. It will be transferred here. You will pour it, and there will be some amount of concrete remaining in that particular transporting equipment or this whatever you are having. Again, what you do, you just erect, you prepare some concrete, you just pour into it. Again, you take it to that floor and you just pour it to the reinforcements. Again, you bring it. You will see, you will find some wastage over that. These things of wastages can be avoided in case of precast. On-site test. On-site strength test is not required when you go for precast because it is completely, simply to tell, it is packed with, the reinforcements are packed with concrete. It is done. The structure is quality checked. Quality both in strength of, both in terms of strength as well as durability is checked there. Everything is done. You are just going to bring and fix it. Extremely important, and it cannot be skipped. Whenever you do concrete, you have to cast the cubes in the concrete site. You check it for the minimum 3, 7, 21 and 28 days. You are going to check this cube using a compression testing machine. You are going to compress the cube and you have to find the strength, how much strength it withstands. Plaster requirement. Due to plain surface, less quantity of plaster is required. Very less quantity of plaster is required because in precast the surface is going to be very smooth. Because it is packed with the cement slurry, it is very smooth. Whereas in this case, it is more difficult. More quantity of plaster shall be required because you might have already seen the surface may not be even. So we are going to just plaster it and go with our paintings. Where in this case of precast, you can directly go for the base coat and the painting. Why don't we use precast concrete? In developing countries like India, why don't we use precast concrete countrywide? The reason is very few specialists and contractors are available. Few plants are only available in the country. Can you see this is one of the factory that where all those things are transferred, the materials are transferred. Like one have to put you just consider a crusher unit, one have to transport the gravels to the site. Likewise, cement will be transferred, water will be carried, everything will be carried, everything will be put into the feeder, concrete will be mixed, and it will be poured to the base thing. You'll be having here. You'll be having a formworks rolling. This formwork, it will be continuously moving over a conveyor belt. Your concrete is going to pour on a constant place. This will be pouring. Here, the concrete is going to pour. Once this is done, it will be moved. Then you're going to concrete this area. So in a conveyor belt, it will be moving accordingly. Once the formwork 1 is done, it moves. Then second is done, then it moves. Meanwhile, once the concreting is done, they do vibrate it with the vibrators or the compacting equipments. They compact it, and then it goes and it is left for curing. That is, they go for accelerated curing. This type is done in a controlled environment. Because of large distance from factory, that's the true reason. Like imagine from Chennai to Trichy, if you transport all the equipments, like all the components, like your wall, column, beam, staircase, what happens? The cost of construction really goes very high. It is difficult and expensive to hire or purchase crane. That is true, right? The rate of the crane, it goes in crores. Imagine for our project will not be in crores. Our construction project may not be in crores, but we'll be requiring, we are in a position to either hire or purchase a crane where the cost of the construction may exceed. And lack of knowledge about precast is also one of the reason people why they are not going for precast construction. Type and size of the building. Precast mainly depends upon the following: type and size of the building, repetition of the members, location of precast factory from the construction site, hiring cost of crane and other equipments at site. Next is precast element size. In determining the size and shape of the precast elements, Consideration should be given to the factors affecting safety. These are the factors affecting safety. Size of crane available to undertake the erection. Access to and around the site. That crane, it should have a long ladder that such that it is accessible to the end and end positions of the work site. Propping and bracing requirements. Transport restrictions. These are the main factors that affects the safety of the precast element erection. Types of prefabrication. Prefabrication is called, is classified as follows based upon these types of degrees: small fabrication, medium fabrication, large fabrication. This three comes under general fabrication units. Cast in situ prefabrication, factory or off-site, that is your manufacturing site, prefabrication. Open system of prefabrication, closed, partial, total. These are the different types of prefabrication. We'll see. These are the types of prefabrication assembly. This is a modular unit where you have the entire structure. This is the bottom floor and this is the top floor. You are just erecting it. You are going to place it over the other. You are going to fix it. Initially, when prefabricated started, how they did is elemental to element. They'll go for column, then slab, then beam, then slab. Then they'll go for wall panels. They were going like this, but nowadays the entire modular units are also prefabricated. This entire structure, this is done in the manufacturing unit. They are just transported and they are just erected. So imagine if this is a house. You have two windows here. This may be your room. This may be an entrance where you can go. This may be a hall, and this may be other room or the kitchen. Imagine like entire module is created over there. It is just being transferred and erected. And this is room-sized modules are prefabricated and completed with internal finishes. Everything is done. In the previous case, this is done. Still, we have to go for external painting on this. Whereas in this case, this complete module is prepared with the outer coating, painting, the fitting of the glass works, windows, doors, everything is done. You're just going to erect it and fix it. These are the panels. See, the panel is being lifted and they are carrying it to erect it here. They are erecting it here. Can you see it is erected? This wall panel, it is being placed upon this footing, and you can see some provisions over here. They are going to fix this here. Fix over the footing. And they are going for the next segment of, erection of next segment. Types of fabrication system. Am I running out of time? Shall I continue?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
7 minutes.
7 minutes. Okay. I'll take only 2 minutes. Types of fabrication system. The major systems are large panel system, longitudinal walls, cross walls, combined system, structural frame system, lift panel system, that is column slabs systems, arrangement of column slab orientated fabrication system, mixed system. This can be categorized as open fabricated system and closed fabricated system. In large panel system, all the components of the building, including the walls, roofs, slabs, your staircase, everything you are going, everything are made up of large panel structures. These large panel structures, like you are going to place it either in the framed or the frameless structure. Your framed structure, frameless structure is nothing but your load bearing structures. That also precast is possible. In case of framed structures, these large panel structures will be a non-load bearing component and mainly used for enclosing purpose, for which you are going to just erect the walls. For areas where seismic attack is high, seismic prone areas, there you can go for normal construction of your columns, your slabs, or your beams. Everything will be done. For the wall erection alone, you can go for precast. You can combine both in order to avoid seismic activities. Where your wall acts as a non-load bearing, so that is not going to carry any load. In case of frameless structure, these large panel structures will be a load bearing component and also will be used for enclosing purpose. large panel system for the let me continue these 2 slides in the next class because it will consume time. I'll stop with it.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Any doubts?
Thank you.
Thank you.